Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Player Zone YouTube channel. And the Cherries have done it again. They've continued their great form. It is now 3 games in a row unbeaten, beating at home Arsenal, drawing away to Aston Villa, and now beating Manchester City on their home deck as well. Fantastic run of form, and City dropping points in a massive day for the Premier League. Obviously, Arsenal losing early in the day to Newcastle United. It was a chance for them to spread that gap out to 8 points on the top of the Premier League table, but they fell short, and potentially those injury problems just going to mount up a little bit at Manchester City, because this performance, it was a snatch and grab for Bournemouth, similar to a few weeks ago when they played Arsenal, where they actually deserved all 3 points and took the better chances, had the better chance, and finished them off. So all in all, a really, really positive result for Bournemouth. Let's just go through a bit of the play-by-play straight away. Antoine Semenyo and Justin Kluivert had shots on goal, which are both fantastically saved in a double effort by Ederson. But eventually, Bournemouth would break through the 9th minute. Antoine Semenyo found the back of the net, a great ball coming down the left-hand side, a great run, then great cross from Milos Kerkez, finding Semenyo back towards goal. Great swivel and shot to find the bottom corner. And Bournemouth deserved the early lead in the 9th minute to go up 1-0. However, going forward, it sort of became a possession City team versus a really defensive and organised Bournemouth side. City had a lot of the ball, but couldn't really get much going in the final third. I think it took her around the half-hour mark where Nathan Ake blasted an effort over the crossbar. But outside of that point in time, City had nothing to show for it. The next big chance fell to Erling Haaland at the back post. Great chest control. Try to give the keeper Travers the eyes and go for the near post, but put his shot just wide of that near post there. And then we go to the second half, because the first half outside of that was quite uneventful. Bournemouth did their job, broke the play up as much as possible, kept City at arm's length, and as such, City really couldn't make any imprint on the game. But it was 40 seconds into the first half, Antoine Semenyo once again getting in behind Kyle Walker. Great run, and Evan Nilsson sort of took the ball off him and took the shot, which was straight at Ederson. But 40 seconds into the second half, we already saw the threat that Bournemouth posed, and once again, Kyle Walker getting caught out by the quick Antoine Semenyo. Ederson, his third massive save of the game to keep it respectable for City at that point in time, because if they'd gone 2 or 3-0 down, I think it could have been game over at that point in time. It was Phil Foden, who should have done much better in the 50th minute. Mateus Nunes sent Zabani shops basically, and then pulled the ball back to Phil Foden. He pulled his effort wide of the far post, and pressure will continue to be supplied. Mateo Kovacic a long shot as well. But once again, Bournemouth, they weren't very getting threatened. There was no shot on goal to that point in time, no shots were on target to that point in time, and Travers had to do little to nothing at that point. Marcus Senesi, Elias Arbani, fantastic defensively. Adam Smith was great for the first sort of hour of the game as well, being very touch-tight to his forwards. And then the second goal came. Evan Nilsson gave the Cherries that 2-0 lead in the 64th minute. Superb run by Antoine Semenyo. He then fed the ball into Milos Kerkez. Once again, another great ball in from that left-hand side. Evan Nilsson on the stretch, getting the important touch just to redirect the ball into the bottom corner. And just after the hour mark, 2-0 Bournemouth lead, and they absolutely deserved it. And I tell you what, it could have been 3 just a few minutes later in the 67th minute. Tavernier killed an effort, came off the post and fell straight to Adam Smith, who I thought should have bagged. Open net, Ederson just getting to his feet, and you could tell the fullback hadn't scored a goal in 6 years because he blasted his effort over the crossbar, and you thought, gee, that could be a chance. They look back on Bournemouth and I think, what if, club captain, talented player, but not the most skilled in front of goal, not the most attacking prowess in the Premier League, probably in the sort of the bottom 10%, Adam Smith. And you could see that when the ball fell to me, almost thought he'd score before he even had the shot. And I think the rush of blood just saw him put that effort over the crossbar. As I said, that first attempt on target came the 80th minute. Erling Haaland directing a Nunes cross towards goal, but quite easily saved by Travers in the end. The City's goal would eventually come, though. The pressure finally showed in the 82nd minute. Josko Vardiol rising highest to head the ball right into that top corner there, getting on the end of Ilkay Gundogan cross. And it made the last sort of 10 to 15 minutes very, very nervy for Bournemouth fans. A few very close chances, the biggest one probably coming the 93rd minute. Erling Haaland was denied by Travers from close range with a header. His follow-up then, he put his effort straight onto the post and stayed out, and somehow Bournemouth were able to keep in front. A late effort from Phil Foden, basically the last kick of the game, a real stinging shot that just went wide of the goal. But outside of that, Bournemouth would survive. They'd gone to win 2-1. And as I said, yes, City came into the game late because Bournemouth sat in deeper and deeper and deeper. But before that, especially the first hour, all Bournemouth. All the chances came their way. They had the clear opportunities. Once again, Kyle Walker getting exposed. City getting exposed with pace in behind their back line. Yes, a back line that was all a little bit underdone, coming in with some injury clouds. But it's still City. It's still very talented players. And Pep won't be giving excuses. Neither will those players. They're a champion side. They know how to win games of football. And they would at least wanted to point out of that game there. And I think when I look back at it, I've talked a lot about Bournemouth over the last 18 to 24 months and what Andoni Iraola's brought across. And this is, no feat for him because he's done it in La Liga, some big wins in the Cup against Real Madrid and wins against Barcelona as well. He knows how to beat these big sides and he's got a system in place that his team isn't fearful to take it to the big boys. And I constantly say it on the podcast. There's a degree of respect you have to have for Manchester City, but if you want to win against them, you actually have to go out there and play some football. Go out there and actually go at them attacking-wise, especially with the hole that Rodri leaves. You got to get at these side and got to get at them and press them, attack them, because there's opportunities, holes there to exploit. And I think, yet again, the importance that this side has on their pressing, their energy in the game. They brought the energy to this game. I think the commentator said it earlier in the piece. City wanted it to be a slower game, to grind out a little 1-0 result like they did last week versus Southampton in that sort of fashion. But Bournemouth at minute 1 brought the energy, brought the pressing, brought the intensity, and it, as such, sort of got them on the ball more often than not, but also kept City at arm's length. And I think we'll get into some of our key players later, but that back four was fantastic. And I've, in my prediction videos, I came to the season talking about the importance of the back four, and they sort of fell a little bit short in the opening sort of 5 or 6 games, but as the season's gone on, and as we've sort of gone on from match week 5 onwards, where Bournemouth's forms really has turned around, it's been on the back of Marcos Senesi, Ilya Zarbani, refining that groove and confidence at centre-half. It's Travers coming in goal in the last few games and making some fantastic saves. It's Adam Smith being reintroduced into this back line and being that wise head, that controlled figure in the side that just gets the job done. And then for me, it's Evan Nilsson finding some form, Antoine Semenyo, Kluivert, Tavernier, Dango Utara, their consistent intensity and willingness to drive at back lines and willingness to stretch defences. It's such a unique system because in games it can be so versatile the way Iraola plays his football, but at the heart of it, it's a pressing, it's intensity, and then once you win the ball, it's play with width, play with pace, get at back lines, drive at defenders, get the ball to Antoine Semenyo, let him do what he does best. And in this game, he absolutely dominated. Leading on to my key players, Semenyo first with the 8.9 match rating, had the goal, obviously the first goal, fantastic finish, 63 touches, 3 key passes, 6 out of 7 successful dribbles, won 11 out of 12 ground duels. He was all over the park, and I said he had his way with Kyle Walker, and I think the question to continue to be asked about Kyle Walker, because defensively he's always been okay, but his star feature was his pace to close down spaces, and then his physicality just to bully people off the ball. As he's gotten older, a few injuries, he's lost that pace and that physicality. If you have physicality, you need the pace to keep up with attackers, but there's just an imbalance there now. So he looks like a really slow, clunkier fullback that's not great on the ball, never has been that skilled on the ball, and as such, he's getting very easily exploited. And Bournemouth looked at that. Yeah, I think there's sort of 2 or 3 on the top of my head I can think of that Semenyo just was the target because he was in behind Walker, he caught him flat-footed, and he could get the better of him. So there's worries there for City at fullback because how easy the side targeted that side of the pitch. Yes, there's Antoine Semenyo, for me, one of the top 5-6 wingers when he gets going in the Premier League. So it's very hard to stop. But still, for City, that's a real worry. How easy and at will Bournemouth are to get in behind with Milos Kerkez and Antoine Semenyo at that side there. Leads me on to the next player, Milos Kerkez. One of the most complete performances I've seen from him in terms of attacking and defensively. There's games he looks really good going forward, especially when he initially got to the Premier League. I think he was really good defensively last season, but we haven't seen a complete package, a complete performance like this. Yeah, the 8.2 match rating, 2 assists, 3 clearances, 52 touches, 97% pass accuracy, 2 big chances created, obviously leading to those 2 assists. But all in all, just fantastic. I was close to giving man of the match, but I think you have to give it to Antoine Semenyo for the importance he had on the attacking side of things. But Milos Kerkez at both ends, and those 2 assists, picture perfect. The ball to find Semenyo through some bodies for the first goal, and after keeping the ball in with a really solid run was class. And then after being fed through by Semenyo for the second goal, he put that ball in a perfect spot for Evan Nilsson. It means he has to just stretch out, get a bit of a touch on that ball, enough pace on it to direct it towards goal. He made Evan Nilsson's job really easy for him. it's still a tough finish from the centre forward, but a lot of the hard work was done by Milos Kerkez, getting to that spot, getting the right pace and precision on that ball, and the rest was quite easy from there on in. So really, really impressed with him, just how complete the performance was. As I said, that's the word for me in this game. Every Bournemouth player was a complete performance, whether they be tracking back defensively and keeping City at arm's length, or whether it be winning the ball back and springing the counter-attack, or playing in tight areas, playing with pace and precision going forward, because they purely just outplayed Manchester City. I'll get into those stats in a little bit. My final player to touch on, Marcos Senesi. Good to have him back alongside Ilya Zarbani. 7.6 match rating, 5 clearances, 3 tackles, only lost 1 duel in the whole game, and 12 out of 16 accurate long balls as well. So when he got the opportunity, he hit those long balls, those diagonals, and got Bournemouth going forward. I think all in all, Bournemouth look safer, they look better, they look actually great going forward when they've got Zarbani and they've got Marcos Senesi, and both in great form. It allows the midfielders not to sit so defensively. It allows the fullbacks to push on, and allows Bournemouth's creative spark and use of the wide areas to flourish, because players can bomb on forward and commit numbers forward, because they know Zarbani and Senesi are there, and they're in great form, and they're confident, and they're playing really well out from the back. And I think these two go under the radar a lot, touch a lot of them last season because of how underappreciated they were in the form they were in. A little bit shaky start the season off, especially Zarbani, but with Senesi returning alongside him, it's really been a sight for sore eyes, especially for Bournemouth fans. It instills so much confidence in this side when those two are playing so well at the back. It allows Cook and Christie a more of creative spark. As I said, it allows Kerkez to get in the positions he got in this game. He was living on that bar line on the left-hand side there. Adam Smith, a bit of a slower fullback, but we know he's got coverage there with the two centre-halves, so they're so important. And Senesi in this game, with his almost man marking of Erling Haaland, was fabulous for me. So he's another key player from this game. Looking at some of the stats, they did have 36% possession, Bournemouth. That number was sort of sitting around the 36 to 40 mark for most of the game. It dropped off, obviously, in the later moments where City just penned Bournemouth in. But all in all, don't always need the ball to be really powerful and really dangerous in the final third. And that goes to show 2.04 XG for Bournemouth to 1.56 for Manchester City. 4 Edison saves to make. And for me, this is the biggest stat that I read. 6 big chances created for Bournemouth. It was a big number, not ridiculous, but a really big number. That is the most Man City have conceded since November 2022. So it was not like Bournemouth did not deserve this result. They absolutely did deserve this result. They got on the front foot. They used their pace. They used their smarts. They used their key players as well. Like Semenyo's the star on this team, but he got on the ball as much as they possibly could. Evan Nilsson was constantly threatening, pressing that back line. Looks like he got that confidence and swagger back that he had in Portugal as well. And I really love when Clive and Tavernier play together. Yes, those two weren't phenomenal in this game here, but them alongside Semenyo, for me, that's the best Bournemouth 3 in behind the centre forward. I think they work so well together. They can be fluid. They can rotate to different flanks, sometimes come in the middle. We know Semenyo likes to drift inside. Clive can come on the outside and go out to the left, or Tavernier can drift inside. Clive can drop out on the right. It's a really fluid front 3. They connect. They stretch back lines, and they're tricky. They're really tricky attacking players, whether it be down the middle or on the flanks. You have to be on song. I think City's back line and midfield were just a little bit off last night. And as such, it showed. Bournemouth had their way going forward and got whatever chance they really wanted. And if it wasn't for Edison, it could have really been a 3 or 4-0 game. I genuinely think that. That ends Man City's 32-game unbeaten streak in the Premier League as well. First time Bournemouth's beaten City in 22 attempts, at 22 times the charm, I guess, for Bournemouth. So it was a massive night for them as a football club going forward with this new ownership, American-based ownership, with the progression they made last season under Andoni Iraola and the progression they're making now. They now sit 8th, 3 points off so-called title chargers Arsenal. It says a lot. They've beaten Arsenal. They've beaten Man City. They've drawn on the road to Aston Villa. They were dangerous versus Nottingham Forest in the opening match. They had Nottingham Forest sitting 3rd right now. So you look at that top 4, and they actually haven't lost to any of the top 4 currently. And that's where I sort of sit at with this side. That's how impressive they are. They took it to Newcastle early in the season as well and played really, really well against that Newcastle side. So the performances have been good throughout the whole season, and I believe that. I've watched every Bournemouth game this season. They've been fantastic. But unlucky losses to the likes of Leicester, where they played well, but they couldn't get the 3 points over the line, just hurt them. But now they're getting the results to back their performances up. And I always say that Vitality ground, as much as you can mock it for being a small place and blah, 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 and looks Championship or League One style, it's a real tough place to go. It suffocates oppositions. You feel cramped. the pressing of those higher players. It makes it a real uncomfortable place to play football, and it showed. The two so-called top two teams have gone there and both lost convincingly, I think. We can't say that either team, Arsenal or Man City, have gone there and deserved it. So, fair play to Bournemouth. This video is about them, but we'll quickly touch on City. Injury problems, I think, are just starting to show, right? Yeah, you've got Savinho, De Bruyne, both on the bench, unable to come and make an impact. Rico Lewis there. The back four all sort of underdone coming to this game here as well. You're obviously missing the big one being Rodri. Erling Haaland's playing through a bit of a knock at the moment. You can see that he's really struggling for that explosive pace. No Jack Grealish. No Doku, so he came off the bench as well. So, like, as much as Pep doesn't want to blame it, and I respect that, champion team never blames injury or blames referees. They just get the job done. But it's just starting to show. The last few performances have been average at best. Only 1-0 versus Southampton. I know the performance all in all was good, but the result didn't really back it up. They could have put 4 or 5 past them. They only put 1. Only put 1 past Bournemouth. This unbeaten streak comes to an end. I know it's not alarm bells, but it felt like a massive game for them yesterday. You know, Arsenal drop points, you win 8 points clear. I think you can rule Arsenal out of the title race if that happens. But now, Arsenal only 7 points off Liverpool. The gap's still the same between your two sides. They're still hanging on by a thread. And Arsenal have got the likes of Ødegaard coming back, right? So it just feels like a really big moment in the league season that has City have let slip. And for Bournemouth, they've grappled on. And now they're all of a sudden in that European battle. They're in that chance for maybe the Conference League spot, whether that be 7th or potentially, I think, sometimes at 8th as well in the Premier League. So they're sitting there right now. They're a threat to the likes of Brighton. They're a threat to the likes of Newcastle United in that spot. And I tell you what, I can't see them really dropping off in terms of performances because, as I said, all year long, the performances have been there for Bournemouth. The results just haven't backed it up. I think this is where they rightly deserve to be at the moment. 8th place, playing some great football and beating some big sides. Let me know your thoughts, though, in the comment section down below. Do you think it's a massive swing in the title race in terms of it was a chance for Arsenal to be kicked away from the title race? Do you think Arsenal are still in the title race? How big is this result for Man City going forward? Let me know all that in the comment section down below. And also, if you're a Bournemouth fan, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. How pumped are you now? 3 great results on the bounce. How far can you go this season? Because I think I had Bournemouth 9th or 10th in my predictions. They might end up going a little bit higher with the way things are going. And Andoni Iraola knows football. Another Spanish manager dominating in the Premier League. If you enjoyed the video, guys, please make sure to smash the like and subscribe to the Players Zone channel for more videos and podcasts like these, and press that post notification bell so you know we upload here on the channel. With that being said, I hope you have a great day, guys. Enjoy Sunday's football action, and I'll see you guys for the video very, very soon. Till next time, guys. See you later.